What's up, witches? My name is Taylor, and I'm the Tempest Witch, and today we're talking about the rune Mannaz. Mannaz is the overall rune for mankind, human connection. You look at the rune Mannaz, it is two people conversing, two people mirroring each other. It's communication and intellect and human psyche and soul, just discussion. It is social order and understanding of where you fit in the world, because humans are social creatures. We are all part of a collective, and even though we're very individualistic in America, we are still part of a society, and we should all be doing things for the collective good, not just ourselves. So Mannaz is a good reminder that although you are an individual, and Mannaz does represent man, it also represents mankind. So in addition to Mannaz being, self-awareness and self-actualization, it is also collective potential and enlightenment. It is both individualistic and collectivist. Parts of a whole. If it's Merkstav, it might be that you're lost in selfishness, you're lost in your own ego, you're facing depression or feeling excluded from either your relationship, your family, your job, your friend group, what have you. Somewhere where there's a collective, you don't quite feel like you fit. And sometimes all that takes is a little communication. You might be stuck in your bigotry or elitism, or you might be surrounded by bigotry and elitism and you're being influenced by it. One of the parts that's really important about human collectivism is that you should never be entirely set in what you believe. You should always be willing to hear someone out and add their understanding to your understanding of the world. So you might not agree, but it is important to understand why people believe what they believe and how you work that into your worldview to make it broader, because that's kind of the whole point of life, is understanding as much as you can. And so if you're stuck in your bigotry, if you're stuck in your elitism, you believe that you are done evolving, you'll never learn anything new. And what's the point of that? That sounds awful and monotonous. Evolve. Allow yourself to evolve. It's important. By that same note, it's intellectual elitism or intellectual superiority. Sometimes you think that you know something really well, and I am very guilty of this. I'm very aware I'm very guilty of this. But sometimes you think that you have the answer and you know exactly what is right. And because of that, you close yourself off to outside opinions, outside perspectives, and therefore your idea of what is correct will stay stagnant and will not evolve with you, which is harmful to the collective. Which is why we focus so hard on being individualistic in this society, because people don't like being uncomfortable. People don't want to learn about things that are uncomfortable. You see it right now with critical race theory across the board. Everyone's like, we can't know about the history of what happened in America. And it's like, you will recommit the sins of your ancestors and forefathers if you do not know what happened before you. If you actually regret what happened in the past, you acknowledge it and you vow never to do it again. The fact that people are so adamant about people not learning about the history of this country shows that they don't hold any value in learning from the mistakes of their ancestors. And what does that tell you? One of the things also with Mannaz being Merkstav is that sometimes you are so isolated that you don't believe that you deserve help. You think that you are so individualistic that you cannot reach out, that you cannot say, I am struggling. And you believe that you have to do everything on your own, which is detrimental to yourself and in the long run can lead to early mortality. So sometimes we convince ourselves of lies. And sometimes all it takes is talking to somebody outside of yourself to go, wow, once I said that out loud, I realized that that's not at all what I believe. Because your brain lies. Something I learned in therapy that was very important to me was that your brain autofills all day, every day. It is just an auto-filling machine. So you know why you get thoughts sometimes that you're like, I would never think that, I would never say that. Your brain is auto-filling based on things you have encountered in your life. If your inner voice is really hard on yourself, it's probably not your voice. It's probably your parents, somebody of your ancestors, your friends, your boss, somebody has said something to you that echoes in your head because you've heard it, but you don't believe what it says. So once you say it out loud, you go, I'm not a worthless piece of shit. Why is my brain telling me that? And all you have to do is say it out loud. If you're struggling and you say to someone, I don't think I deserve help, that person is going to look at you with love in their eyes and say, honey, you're always worthy of help. As a talisman, Mannaz is very good for intrinsic work, meditation, internalized thought, but make sure you don't use it entirely intrinsically, because like I said, you can just stew all of the things that are in your brain, which is why everyone needs to go to therapy. Everyone needs to go to therapy. No one is exempt from this. Everyone has issues. Everyone needs to go to therapy. I deal with so many people that I'm like, if your parents would have gone, hey, I should get you some help for these things, you wouldn't be lashing out at people who work customer service jobs because you would have dealt with your problems and not cast them on people. Thanks, Karen. Now, I will tell you this next part, but I need you to listen to me about this. Mannaz is good for tests and school and overall academic work because it helps increase intellectualism and intrinsic thought and higher self-thinking. So you could think of big, broader concepts, especially in college. And that's fine, it works great. However, it does not negate the need to study. So there's lots of videos that go around on TikTok that are like, I'm gonna charm my way through this calc test, and then they're doing all these rituals and like incense and everything and got crystals all over it and they still failed the test. It's like, you didn't put in the work. Magic does not negate the need for the work. You need to do the work. So it is good for academic work, but you have to put an effort behind it. Studying is important. Make sure you're studying, and I hope you're doing great in school. I know it's rough, because it's the beginning of the semester. I understand, I've been there. You'll make it through, I promise. You will survive. And one of the notes I have on Mannaz is both of Odin's ravens, Hugin and Munin, their names mean thought and memory. Active thought, what is happening now, in the present, and recollection on what has been. And so that's why Odin's ravens go across all of the realms, across the worlds, and bring back and whisper into Odin's ear about things that they've seen. What is happening now, what has happened, and the constant flow of those energies. Just something to keep in mind. Also, it's fun to say Hugin and Munin. Just saying. They're my favorite. I love them a lot. I have a little dish of shiny things. Shiny things. Because crow brain, raven brain. One day I hope to befriend some crows or some ravens, some kind of corvid. I'll take a blue jay even. They're so intelligent and I want to give them like treats and I want them to bring me shiny things. Because that sounds awesome. Anyway, let's wrap this up. Alright guys, I hope you're having a great day. I'll see you on the next one. Skull, my friends.